Hello, hello. I'm back on Wednesday. It's a Cup of Sports. Dane here with AJ. We are fighting and clawing to have things to stay relevant now that football season is dying down, but we're here.
Yeah.
We have our notes and ready to rock.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a happy Wednesday morning.
Yep.
Wednesday the 29th. So, championship Sunday is over. College football is over. We're
Sad
just
days.
hanging out here waiting for the Pro Bowl. I know everybody's excited for
I
that.
can't even. Yeah, I remember being a kid and like looking forward to the weekend in between the championship and the football. And now it just is like, why is there a week without football? Like, I just
Yeah.
hate that there's an extra week with no football.
Well,
So
when we were
yeah,
kids, it was just a week off, right? Because the Pro Bowl
yeah,
was
because
after the
after
Super
after
Bowl.
the Super
Yeah.
Bowl, yep, yeah, it was a week off. That is right. Yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I just always remember there was always just a gap there, and then they were like, yeah, why don't we put it in the week between? It was like that still doesn't make sense. Still, no one cares. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't. All it does is exclude the Super Bowl playing players that go to be able to play in it.
Yeah.
But again, who cares? So,
Yeah.
but
So, it should be interesting. I have a question for you, though.
go for it.
So now that we're in the era of filling time,
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna start doing this and just choosing a Ask Reddit thread and just asking you a question every
I like
time.
it. Reddit's always
So
a good source.
today's question is: if the person you hate the most were to experience one slight inconvenience every day for the rest of their lives, what would you choose it to be?
I see. I don't even know. Like what? I almost want to Google like what are the smallest, most inconveniencing things. Like I would want it to be that like her car door never unlocked on time. Like whenever they click the button, it doesn't do it. You have to like always get the key manually,
Sure.
or like like just something silly and mundane that just would like ruin like I want it to ruin her mood every day. Like I want every morning. That has to be in the morning. I think it has to be something in the morning that like. No, that's it. I want her alarm to never work so she always wakes up with like a panicked, overslept feeling, and her whole day is just chaotic shit from that point. And this is funny too because I'm saying her because we mentioned this off air that like I'm thinking of someone
Oh,
very
sure.
specifically who I hate so much, and everyone's like, "Oh, cool, ex girlfriend, whatever." Never have had a relationship with this person in my life. Could never, would never. And it's just yeah, there's just a lot of history there. And every time
Yeah.
we joke around about like anybody I'm talking to, and I'm like, who do I hate the most? Like this person becomes like the number one. Like that's the all time leading scorer. I just can't
Sure.
imagine putting someone else there, but. Yeah, I mean, do
So
you have
I
suggestions? I would say, is there like top votes or suggestions
yeah,
maybe,
I
or what
can
were
read
you
through some of the
thinking?
top comments here. I want to give you mine first, though,
Go
because
for
it
it.
is one of the top comments, and I actually
Okay.
thought about this before I saw it,
Yeah,
and
because I
it'll
had to
make
sit here for a
sense.
minute and think about some stuff. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think just anything that yeah would really fuck up the day.
So this is the top comment, and like just in better words than I could put it in my own mind. Saved passwords on all devices are always incorrect. So every time they sign into anything, they have to
Would you like
reset
to
the
update this
password.
password or
Yeah.
oh yeah, or it's a forgot password no matter what you're
Yeah.
doing. I
I
do like
just
that.
oh that
That
would
is a
drive
good
me up a
one.
wall having to reset
Yeah,
your password
especially
every day.
someone like you who is a tech like a password manager
Yes.
utilization kind of guy, like to then have to sign in. I do
Yeah.
that cool thing where like I have like five identities, so I have these different passwords and usernames and shit. So like I said, we've talked about it before. Like I have
Yeah.
to keep it in like not an Excel spreadsheet, but just like kind of written down. So I'm like, okay, well, what is what and what password should go where? What are some of the other top ones?
So the top overall comment is reaction time of their electronic devices is always 5 seconds to 5 minutes late, depending on how stressed they are. The more stressed, the slower the
Mm.
device.
Yes, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. But see, yeah, those things for me, it's just like that's like personal stress for her, and that I don't think does it. Like I want it to be like I want other people involved so they're mad at her too because she's in a bad mood, and it's all because she woke up late. Like I think the alarm one was a really good one. I think I like that
That
one.
is a
That
good
like,
idea. Yeah.
yeah, like I came up with that one from scratch where it was just like no matter what, the alarm doesn't work. Like even if she has somebody wake her up, like nobody, like she can't wake up on time, no matter what. Like she
Yeah.
has to wake up and be in an absolute fucking everybody grab coat and shoes panic mode. Like because I know I hate that so much that my day is more than likely ruined. And so yeah, I just want her to start every day like that, like even Christmas, her birthday, everything. I just want that to be her day.
The next top comment: the moment they get in bed, they need water and don't remember if they locked the door.
That's a good one too.
Uh,
I like that.
they felt intense empathy for the other person anytime they tried to do something that was unfair or intentionally hurtful to them.
As you know, the person that I'm thinking of, that one is probably the most relevant for her to have felt the things she has made other people feel.
That
Yeah, I think I would appreciate that one.
that one sock just isn't right inside your shoe.
Yeah, see, a lot of these too, it's just like I'm just like she's just such a fucking garbage piece of shit to begin with that like these aren't good enough. Like
It
I need her to really be miserable. See, I think yours like no passwords working is good, or like
yeah.
never have cell service. Like it, like just like you have a phone but you can't get internet. Like it's just you have dial up kind of shit. Like I want her to
I
have AOL and not like high speed 5G.
It reminds me of the song "Gives You Hell" by All American Rejects, where they just like go down the list of
Yeah,
shit that,
sing things and just
yeah,
yeah,
cracks me up. And
yeah,
the
yeah.
last one here, I'll say, you know, when you think you plugged your phone in, but the next day you find out it's at 10% because apparently it wasn't plugged in properly. Yeah, that.
So that, yeah, for me, it's like I see her at 11 p.m., like taking her phone and like plugging it in and like seeing that it's charged and it says alarm set for 6 a.m. and she slowly backs away and goes to bed. And then just for no reason at all overnight, the cord just unplugs and the alarm deletes and she just wakes up and is like, oh, the fuck, phone's dead, no alarm, late for work. Like, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes me feel good. I'm every morning now, I'm going to wake up and just go, I bet she's having a shit morning, and my morning is going to be infinitely better. Like all the different motivational things I've tried to like trick my brain into being happy about, like I'm getting happier thinking about her having a bad morning every day. So, yeah,
I,
that's a good one. I really hope
um,
some of our friends specifically listen to this episode so that they're like, hey, the fucking like we talk.
yeah.
I know this. I know who he's talking about. I know who he's talking about. Oh man,
All
good
right.
stuff. All right,
So I'll
to
try to bring
sports, I
that.
guess.
Yeah, I'll try to bring an Ask Reddit thread to ask you about.
Yeah, no, I like that. We'll do some fun stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
just
have some
something to fill some time. Anyways, so the NFL, we do have the Eagles Chiefs part two.
Pardue.
Um, and I've heard so many interesting stat lines and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah,
asked me today, like, so like, do you think the Eagles are gonna win? And I'm like, of course I do. Not
yeah.
even a question.
You have to believe it.
Not only do I have to as a fan, but also like we are the better team on paper. Now that doesn't mean we're gonna win the game, but when you look at it,
Right.
we're the better
Yeah,
team on paper.
yeah, yeah,
They might have like
yeah.
quarterback, coach,
I mean, yeah, because you.
tight end, maybe, but even Travis Kelsey didn't have a great year.
Yeah, I mean,
And
he is still fucking
Dallas
Travis
Goddard's really
Kelsey.
good.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
but I
like
mean, like,
wide receivers, offensive line were better,
yeah,
defensive line were
yeah,
better.
that's true. That's true.
So
Yeah, you guys do
it
probably.
just
Yeah, yeah. Well, see, I don't know about defensive. I mean, yeah, like they have Chris Jones, but you guys have a better committee, like by far. Like you have
right.
a
We
group
have
of
depth.
players
Yeah.
that, yeah, 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 yeah.
Also, I don't
But
know if you saw it, but like I've just been watching highlights of it all day
Jalen
today.
Carter,
Jalen Carter
the kid's
just
a
leaping
monster.
over that fucking
The kid's
guy.
a fucking
Just up
freak,
his legs.
dude.
He's like,
This is a fucking freak. I saw that shit. I said, isn't he like 325 pounds? And they're like,
yeah,
yeah. And he just moves like he's fucking 210. Like
yeah,
that kid's a freak because he's also like 21, 22, isn't he?
uh
He's like a
huh,
rookie or something like
yeah.
that. Like
Well,
he's
he's
a
in his
kid.
third year now, but
Yeah,
yeah,
he's 23, 24. He's still a baby.
yeah,
And so, yeah, that's just fucking,
yeah.
that's
Him and
super
Nolan
wild.
Smith both out of Georgia, like just
Oh, that's
crazy.
right. Yeah, because you guys have the 9 Georgia fucking
Yeah,
inside eight or whatever it was.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 So yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm excited. I'm all for football. I love the Super Bowl. So like, no matter what, like I'm gonna watch. Like everyone's bitching and
sure.
moaning and making the joke. I saw lots of TikToks today where it was like, I randomly have plans at 6:30 p.m. on February 9th, and it's showing them like deep cleaning their house or like toothbrush cleaning like the grout lines and shit. And I'm like, no, my ass is still gonna get wings. I'm still
You
gonna plan
know
my
they're all
whole
gonna
day
watch
around it. Yeah, I'm
anyways.
planning
Yeah,
my whole fucking day around the goddamn thing every year. Like, yeah. So yeah, but yeah, I'm excited to watch it. But yeah, I really do hope the Eagles just win. Like, I hate to say that, but that's yeah. I'm like fully committed
same.
to like the letting the boys be Eagles fans. So I'm like, I need to now jump on that train too. But like obviously as like a secondary team. So yeah, but yeah, I mean yeah, I'm just rooting for you guys now. Plus like fuck the Chiefs. Like I just don't want that to happen. So
Yeah. For what it's worth, rest in peace to the young man that fell like 40 feet off the pole in Philadelphia. He did pass away this afternoon.
damn.
He
Was
had
it one of the
climbed up.
ones reading the inner excellence?
I don't think so. That was hilarious though.
That is hilarious. Fucking
No,
just stop with a light
this
bulb.
was a
Fucking
temple gymnast that fell like I guess it was like 40 feet from a pole. It was in like super critical condition ever since, and then he did finally pass away today.
damn, yeah, temple student.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So rest in peace to that young man. God, I feel so old just saying young man.
Yeah. It's
But
also too like I remember being in high school and seeing college kids and like that's a grown ass man. And now I'm a grown ass man and I see college kids. I'm like, you could be in middle school. I can't tell. Like you were like, and they have their fucking lanyards and they're fucking swinging their shit. And they
Yeah.
have the fucking university alum up the hip of the sweatpant and then on the
Uh-huh.
shirt and then they have the headband and then the lanyard. And I'm like, do you go to school there by chance? I don't know. Just a random question. Do you by
Yeah.
chance attend university
It's
high? I don't know what would give that away. And they're fucking swinging that goddamn lanyard. And I'm like, I remember thinking that you were the oldest, coolest kids ever. And now I'm like, they're 12, but they
yes.
just happen to be in college. Like they're all the same. Like
I
you're all children now.
It's so funny you bring that up because I was watching the Duke game. I think it was last night, or
Yeah,
two
like
nights ago,
seeing kids in
Sunday
the
night.
crowd. Like, yeah, as a
And
kid, I
yeah,
thought they
you
were
know,
adults.
I
And
was
it's like,
I was seeing the adults sitting on the sidelines because they're the ones that can afford the courtside seats.
right? Sure,
And
facts.
and I was like, damn, I remember thinking like, man, what a scrub you have to be like a grown ass man cheering on your team sitting on the sideline like that.
Yeah,
And now I
to
am
know
that
like
grown ass man that I'm
what kind
like,
of proudness it is to be an alum and have money
yeah,
to do those kinds of things. Like, yeah, it's like fuck yeah, it's a flex. Like, it is a kid.
yeah,
You're like, yeah, what a creeper. Like, it was like that's not how that
yeah.
works. Like, they only get so many student tickets, and the students aren't buying tickets. They're all going because they're drunk and their friends going. Like, very rarely do any of these schools have people that are like diehard basketball fans. Like, they're just there for the party and the
Yeah,
atmosphere or whatever. Like, because if I'm like a fucking basketball fan, like that's like a Super Bowl party thing. That's like a common discussion. Like, do real football fans have Super Bowl parties? Because it's like I just want to watch the game. Like,
same.
I don't want
I don't go to Super Bowl
people
parties.
going all around and all that shit and like talking and their
Yeah,
crock pots, this and that. Like, and then I always think about it. I'm like, I wouldn't mind like hosting and shit because like I would put the game on multiple TVs so that people wandering around, like no matter what the game's on, or if I gotta like run to the kitchen or something, I'm watching it on each fucking TV. But like, because like I also for the past 3 years have watched the Super Bowl pretty much alone because Kaylee's had
yeah,
to work. Last year we were traveling. I sat in the RV, had wings, sat there at a little TV all by myself, and just sat and watched Super Bowl. Year before, same thing. So like I have now watched it 3 years almost in a row now, completely alone. Like I just sit down like it's a normal football game, but it's the fucking Super Bowl. So I'm always like, okay, I guess yeah. I'll just go to Twitter see if anybody else saw that. Like it's so miserable. So like I'm kind of in between now, where I'm like I do kind of want some people around, but like I would want you. Like I want
yeah.
other football people who let's sit around, let's have a couple beers,
Right.
let's chill, like let's all watch the game. Like not like
Yeah.
anybody at any point being like we should go for a walk. And it's like second quarter, 8 minutes to go. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like wait, go walk where? Like you can go for a walk. Yeah, so yeah, that yeah, so yeah, that's what I forget we were even talking about that with the Super Bowl party, like the perspective of that. But like is that in terms to go? Oh, we were
Yeah.
talking about with going to the party and
Going
like with the
going
universities
to
and shit
the
like that.
basketball
Yeah,
games and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my thought process. So, like, if you're a diehard basketball fan, you don't want to go with the student section and shit. Like, you're trying to
Right.
go and watch basketball and watch X's
Yeah.
and O's, not be part of the wave and the fucking free throw distraction and shit. Like, you want to like be part of the game. So, but yeah. So anyway, yeah. So we have that, and then obviously we have a bunch of coaching carousel stuff. We
Yeah.
mentioned it last time, and there's been even more moves since then. Dallas gets worse, which is amazing. Signing Brian Schottenheimer to being the head
Oh,
coach, which I mean, even being Marty Schottenheimer's son, like I just don't think that matters as much now. Like
same.
he's just a career backup. So like
Yeah.
you're the Nick Foles. So it's like, do you get lucky for a year maybe, but like unlikely. And then brings in Matt Eberflus, who had a fucking disastrous time getting fired by the Chicago Bears of all places.
Yeah.
Like Dallas is in a weird spot. Overpaid Dak, overpaid CD. Like, yeah, it's I don't care about the Cowboys. I don't hate them as much as everybody else, but it's like, the fuck are they doing? Like
Yeah.
to have
I'm
that
here
kind of
for it.
money and that kind of power and stuff, like why do you look like the New York Jets? Like
Yeah.
what are you doing? Like that's crazy. So yeah, so Dallas shit show on fire. Only other big
Oh,
opening still is New Orleans. And there's been
it's the
some news
only
around that.
opening.
Only opening,
Yeah.
that's the big one.
Still.
And Mike McCarthy's still out there. Bunch of other veteran coaches that were trying to get in are still out there. Joe Brady said no, staying in Buffalo. Cliff Kingsbury said no, staying in Washington. And then Kellen Moore from your beloved Eagles interviewed. Some people, I saw a thing of the Twitter comment that was just like, it's probably just because like the team wasn't allowed in New Orleans until the weekend, so he went early so he could party, and then everyone else was like, "Does Kellen Moore look like a guy that parties in New Orleans?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, he does not. He does not look like a
Yeah.
guy that got there early to get some ass on the street." And I was like, "Yeah, he doesn't strike me as that." But yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny that he's interviewing for New Orleans while going to the Super Bowl in New Orleans, so he's
Yeah.
just kind of down there killing two birds with one stone.
Yeah. I mean, I look selfishly. I'm like, I really don't want him to
Stay,
leave because,
dude.
like, I'm
That's
tired of rotating through coordinators. And this was actually one of the those stats that I heard is just like Steve Spagnuolo just being in Kansas City for the past like 7 years.
Yeah, it's like
Like
why
you
go be
don't,
a head coach?
yeah,
Like, yeah, it's what's the point?
it's just like the perfect scenario for them. So
Yep.
I don't know. I I do feel for Jalen Hurts because that assume Kellen Moore leaves. I mean, hopefully he doesn't, but assume he does. That's now 5 coordinators
Yeah,
in
and this was
4 years.
yeah. I mean, I
Like
wouldn't even
I
say this
just
was the best one because like this was a Saquon year, and you guys 3 or 4 weeks into the season were about to trade Hurts, cut Brown, and fire Sirianni. Like the Eagles were on fire, and now they're in the
yeah,
Super Bowl. Like I
it's
remember that vividly because of PMT. Like that, I
yeah,
remember this year we talked about it. Like Max was losing his fucking mind. PMT plug for the episode. Like Max was losing his mind, and it was just like. The Eagles are like really in a fucking like they had their window and it closed, and here you guys are right back in
yeah.
the Super Bowl. Like you just took a little bit of time to get it together.
I just
I mean, yeah, cracking off 11 wins or whatever it was right in a row. Like that
yeah,
was like where it was. Where it was like, all right, they won two, but they're still about to fall apart. They suck. And it was like, no, they actually don't. Saquon's gonna fucking clip
yeah,
2,000 yards. Like this is a real year for them.
yeah. It's this is an interesting discussion. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. The other day they were talking. I forget what show I was watching, but they were talking about uh, the segment started with ranking Jaden Daniels in terms of the best quarterback in the NFL. And like basically they were all saying like he should probably be at 5. Um, but then they were like, but if Jalen Hurts wins the Super Bowl, where do you put him? And like that's the question is because like he wins, but he doesn't put up like stats. He's not a huge stats guy unless you look at
Yeah.
rushing touchdowns. Um, but like it's just
Yeah, I don't
like
know what it is with Jalen Hurts because like he does get this like wild disrespect for no reason. Like I don't know if it's because he plays for the Eagles or if it's Alabama or what. Because it's like you look at C.J. Stroud, like
yeah,
no one hates on C.J. Stroud, and he's a black quarterback. No one hates on Jordan Love, he's a black quarterback. So it's
right.
not even like a race thing where it's like oh he's a black quarterback. Like
No,
that's what like comes to
absolutely.
mind immediately. But like and it's like is it because he plays for the Eagles? Like he does have like this. Like I just typed in like best QB NFL and just to see like what generic Google result would be. And like AI tried to answer, but it was shitty. It was like the answer
Sure.
Tom Brady. But looking at just QBR for the that's only it's for the postseason.
Yeah.
2024 regular season is what I wanted. Yeah, Jaden Daniels was fourth for the postseason or for the regular season, first in QBR for the postseason. But Jaden Daniels is or Jalen Hurts is top 10 for the regular season and then eighth for postseason, which I
Right.
mean out of 14. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
It's
mean
just such an
it's
interesting
just
question because
it
like
is
I
it's
get both sides of the argument is that like he's
he's
as
not
an
stat
NFL player,
friendly, but he wins. So who
he's
cares?
he's not
Like
stat friendly, but he's always had a good team around him.
that, yeah, that is it's like,
And
and how do you fault him for having a good team around him?
right,
It's pretty
like
much
it's
what it
not his
comes to.
job. Yeah.
But then I think the devil's advocate to that argument is like, well, if he has a good team around him, he should be fucking Superman. Like, why is he not doing Cam Newton type shit with this good team? But it's like you don't have to. You just gotta win Super Bowls. So who
But that's the
cares?
thing is
So
like he's not having bad seasons
no, not at
statistically.
all. No,
They're
no,
just
no,
not like they're not like a 55 touchdown, 5,000 passing yard seasons.
no. Yeah,
It's, like he gets, 3,000 yards. He gets,
yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
know,
I
40 touchdowns when you
I
include
felt
rushing
like putting
touchdowns.
Jaden Daniels fifth like feels weird. Like I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
like
It
because
it came
like
down to them basically the whoever it was talking. They were talking about being gun shy because of doing it with CJ Stroud last year. And then he
yeah,
came back
that
this year
kind of
and getting
yeah.
like
You don't
sophomore
want to look
slump kind of
wrong,
thing.
but like yeah, I mean it's
So
Allen, Jackson, Mahomes, Burrow. Like that top four is
Mahomes,
Josh
Allen,
Allen, Joe
Joe
Burrow,
Burrow, Lamar Jackson.
Lamar
Yeah.
Jackson. Like that four is whatever way you cut it, that's the Rushmore right now. Like there is
Right.
no
Yeah.
arguing that, I don't think. Like there is just nothing really there. Again, like even if Hurts wins the Super Bowl, it still is just like if you're talking best quarterback, not best situation or best winner or whatever, like if I had to
See, that's
pick
the thing.
but like if I'm drafting a brand new team in Madden and you give me those five quarterbacks and I got Allen, Jackson, Mahomes, Burrow, and then Hurts, I'm absolutely taking one of those four before Hurts. I don't know why. That's me. I don't know what it is where like in
Yeah.
my mind I'm like I slight
Right.
him, but like the other guys have worse teams but a better QBR and won, but they're not in the Super Bowl this year. But like
Right.
even if
That's
you
the
back
thing
it
is
up a
like, do
year,
you
it's
want
like
to
he's in
win?
the Super Bowl. Yeah,
Because
like
all
you
he
want to
does is
win.
fucking
Like
win.
all I do is win. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it is
Like,
interesting. That's yeah, but like in my head, like, you know what I mean? Though, like if
yeah.
you're
Oh no, I
taking
get
out
it.
all bias, like you're just starting a
Yeah.
Madden franchise, I give you the first pick and I tell you got to pick a quarterback. Like biasly, you might take Jalen Hurts, but like at the top of your head, you're like, Lamar Jackson can make all those throws and run 5 or 6 miles an hour faster. Like it, like you know what I mean.
Right,
So
but
it's
then he
like if
doesn't
you're,
win in the
but
postseason.
it doesn't win. That's yeah. But that's not in Madden. So postseason clutch just dissolves in Madden.
Right.
That comes to the controller player. But no, I mean yeah. If you're a GM and you're starting a team, yeah, Lamar has this weird playoff thing where he doesn't get
Yeah,
it
and like
done. So
Josh Allen, do you have the
same
same
thing. Like
concerns?
yeah,
Joe
same thing.
Burrow, do
So.
you have the same concerns?
Well, Joe Burrow, I don't, because if you get him out of Cincinnati, he would probably already have 8 Super Bowls. So
Yeah.
that actually, I give Burrow a little bit more credit because throwing for the yards he
Well,
did this
that's
year, and
and like that's another question then is like if you take Josh Allen out of the AFC and he's on an NFC team,
yeah, he's
is
probably.
is he in the Super Bowl every year? Not having to play Mahomes every
I
year in the
mean,
playoffs?
it's not even having to play Mahomes. It's just like if like the schedules lined up a little bit different. Like if the Chiefs would have to play the Bengals in the divisional round instead of the Bills, like it feels like the Chiefs always get the Bills, and so it always has ended up like this. But
Right.
like, yeah, if somebody else could take the Chiefs out, not have the Bills be the one to have to do it,
Sure.
but yeah, no, I mean, yeah, him in the NFC, like, yeah, he could absolutely like imagine him like the Rams, like if they would have done all that shit with Stafford and Goff, but instead of
Yeah.
getting Stafford, would have got Josh Allen, like the Rams would have maybe not made a Super Bowl for the last 5 years, like
Right.
they would have had their team, McVay's coaching, Allen in LA, like it would have been a fucking fireworks, and
Right.
instead he's stuck in Buffalo, and I feel like he was better than what the organization was, and they are now catching up, like coaching and GMs and all that shit, like they're getting there. They realized that Diggs was a problem, got him out, brought in Cooper, like they're doing things to help, and then they still just can't get over this fucking Chiefs hump. So,
Fair enough.
but yeah.
All right, moving
Yes,
on.
yeah, I don't know where to take Daniels though. To answer your question, I don't know where. That's it. If I was looking at drafting a team today, and I'm a real life GM, based on age with that group, I'm probably taking Jaden Daniels. Like he's a few years younger than everybody in that group, Hurts included. Like
Yeah.
age included. Like if I'm a GM, you're putting me. I got hired as a Jets GM, and I can expansion draft and pick a player. Like I'm taking Jaden Daniels because he's younger than
Over
Hurts.
Mahomes?
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to listen to Patrick talk during meetings. I can't stand his voice. But also, yeah, I mean, he's
All
still like
biases
he's
aside.
yeah, all by his side, he's a piece of shit. No, yeah, I think that yeah, again, even with because yeah, I think that Jaden Daniels, if you put Jaden Daniels in Mahomes' spot, I think he has more. Like I think that that's a danger. Like I think he is a better player than Patrick Mahomes for sure.
Wow.
Which is, I guess, like wild, like a better athlete almost. I guess, like that, I think that's the thing for me is with Mahomes. Like he doesn't strike me as an athlete, and that drives me nuts. Like Lamar Jackson looks like an athlete. Jalen Hurts looks like an
Showed up
athlete.
as an
Like
athlete against the Bills this week. 11
he did,
rushes and
100%.
2 touchdowns.
Yeah, like he does. It's just like it's funny to watch because I think it's the way he runs too. Like he runs with that little
Yeah.
fucking like he doesn't run like an at like he doesn't get after it, and so it always just looks so goofy. But yeah, I don't know. I think age, like again, age included. But yeah, I guess I don't know because I mean, yeah,
It's
Mahomes could play
tough.
for 15 more years
Look,
and
you can talk
still.
about this until you're blue in the face, and
Yeah,
it's
true.
just gonna be wild.
But just give me the GM job and then we'll figure it out.
Anyways, I
All
saw
right,
this.
talking about true love.
Yeah, I saw this article the other day. A recent study found that nearly half of single American men would choose a Super Bowl win over finding true love. From among the teams, single Detroit Lions fans topped the list with 74% willing to choose the
Damn.
Lombardi Trophy over love, while 45% of single Cincinnati Bengals fans said they were willing to do the same. Just kind of an
Is
interesting
that the
stat.
lowest end? The 45%? That's the lowest one?
I don't. They didn't
Or
get
just I
into
guess assume so, or unless it's
they
just a
didn't get into
median. But
the rest of them. But it's just so it's such a weird thing that like look, the Eagles just won theirs in 2017. They were back 2 years ago. They're now back again. Um, and I'm also happily married, so like I'm not in this category, but like I definitely
yeah.
get it.
I'd say the year
I
before
mean,
making the Super Bowl, like that would be one where you're like, look, Jamie, I love you, but
yeah,
like they could make the Super Bowl. Like Nick, you're telling me Nick Foles will win a Super Bowl?
yeah,
Jamie, you'll find somebody.
yeah.
I saw that when you sent it, and I was like, damn, that is crazy. And again, same situation where it's like I had a Super Bowl in my lifetime, a couple more when I was a child, and don't remember them, didn't watch a minute of it, but like have seen the highlights and all that stuff. So it's like
I would,
it's there, and I know we've been on the cusp. And again, we lost ours, and we're
yeah,
embarrassed, and then we won one. So it's like I've had the experience of it, but could not imagine being a fan of a team on that graphic where it's like number of Super Bowls, never even fucking been there. Like to
yeah.
be a
Jaguars,
Texans,
Texans,
Jaguars,
yeah,
Browns, Titans, like that fucking like that sucks. Like
yeah.
I could not imagine to be in that situation because then like yeah, like you just have no hope of like well we've done it before, we should be able to get back to it. And it's like no, you might not actually. So
Yeah. I would be very interested to see what that percentage was for Jets fans right now.
yeah, that I'm sure would be because it's also New York, so like they hate everybody anyway. It's like they don't give a fuck about true love. So I bet it'd be like in the high 80s or 90s. Like yeah, the
Yeah.
Jets or even the Giants too. Any but New York teams will probably if they redid
Well,
that test, it'd be
the
rough.
Giants have the wins with Eli in the early
That
2000s,
is true too.
so
Yeah, they're still
or mid
talking shit on Tom
2000s.
Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're the Brady killers. So,
Yeah. Anyways, tell me about some NBA stuff. I actually
um,
read into the Jimmy Butler stuff because I guess he walked out of the
dude,
practice facility.
Jimmy Butler's nuts. Like, yeah, that shit's going on. He owns a coffee company that he started like as a joke during the pandemic. Was like making his own coffee and shit. Started selling it. Was like, I'm gonna make this shit and like started tweeting it out. And people were like, let me buy your coffee, Jimmy. So he like started this coffee company. Has like multiple locations and shit now. Was seen there, high as fuck, just chilling in the back. Was like, "What can I get for you?" Just walk. Could you imagine just me making like $12 an hour working at some bum ass coffee shop and Jimmy Butler, the owner, just walks in high as fuck, fucking around. Just got suspended from his job today and just shows up in the coffee shop.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jimmy Butler's living his best life right now. He's made his money. He made it to the finals, so he needs his ring, but like that's all he's looking for. So he doesn't
Yeah.
care about anything else. Like he's got his bread. He plays basketball. He was told during that shootout that shoot around that he was going to get benched for another player, Haywood Haysmith or some shit like that, like some
Yeah.
goofy ass name. And it was one of those scenarios where he was like, "This motherfucker's starting. Like, why are we like? What's the point? Like, I am better than him at basketball. Why are we starting him? Like, what are we doing here?" And then that just spiraled, and so that was what Shams reported that it just kind of spiraled from there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so he is now rumored. He keeps wearing Phoenix Suns colored stuff and like keeps making references and stuff to it. And the Suns have been talking about trading Bradley Beal. But that would involve like the salary cap stuff. It just was one where it's like it's going to involve like 5 or 6 teams, which is pretty
Oh, okay.
unheard of, but it can
I've seen a
happen.
lot of
And
these trade rumors, like
yeah,
the
it can
photos
happen.
of like, hey, this
Yeah, where it's
person
like
goes
it
here,
looks
this
like a
person goes
spider
there.
web.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts, and it's like cash considerations and draft picks, and like a bunch of people got to get involved to make it work. So any one of them says no, now it all falls apart.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of things happen with Jimmy. Trade deadline's February 6th. We got like a weekish, and yeah, shit's gonna pop off. A really surprising one that popped up because everyone has heard about Jimmy Butler, but this was breaking news
Oh,
just a
I
couple
did see
hours
this
ago.
today. Yeah.
The Kings made De'Aaron Fox available in trade talks, which is crazy. We just
It's
talked about
funny
him
we just talked
recently.
about him. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, he's a king. I think in our episode said he's going to be a king for life. Like they love him there. He's the face of the franchise, and
Yeah.
he was last year. They made it to the playoffs, made this deep run. Like it was like this big deal. It was like the Lions, like where they had been bad for so long, and they finally had some progress. And so like the Kings, like Sacramento, was like, oh my god, we have a fucking team now. And now trading De'Aaron Fox, like I don't know what the point of that was or why they're doing it. If they just kind of have decided that the window
Is
closed and they're like,
is
fuck it.
this
But
the Jared Goff
see, I don't like because what are they gonna
trade?
get for him? Is like that's yeah, like are they a piece away? And like that's like my thing was like, how are you? Like whoever was on the Aaron Donald is the
Yeah.
Aaron Fox in this situation. Like bring someone in
Okay.
to help him. Don't trade Aaron Donald away. Like Aaron
Right.
Donald needs a Stafford. Aaron Donald doesn't need traded to win a title. Like that's what's confusing to me is it felt like they
Yeah.
needed to be bringing in one piece to help him, and instead they're trading. Like yeah, I saw that and was like, what the fuck? And like I saw it came up as breaking news and it said De'Aaron Fox in trade, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I got into it, it said that it was just like it, not even rumored that like they have made him available in trade talks, and so the only thing that I picked up from it too that it said that his preferred destination is the Spurs, which could be really dangerous. Chris Paul, Popovich, Wemby, De'Aaron Fox. Like De'Aaron
Yeah.
Fox having Chris Paul guidance with Wemby is Wemby and De'Aaron Fox could be a dangerous combo because Fox is fast as fuck, can shoot. Like
Yeah.
he's a perfect combo guard for Wemby, and like so that would be fun to watch. So, um, Chris Paul also said the other day too that Popovich is out with a stroke that he had in November. It got released that that's what happened. That he calls him after like every game and after every practice and shit, and like calls and he's like, "This is what I'm seeing. Like you guys have to after this, you got to make sure you're somebody's cutting down this and pin down that and like calling." And he's like, "This is what I just saw on ESPN. You got to do this." Like so, Papa's still very involved, but even though he's home on like a medical sabbatical, so
It's crazy.
but yeah, so trade rumors, week to go. So shit's gonna pop off a lot. Suns, Heat, Nets, Knicks, Hawks. Bunch of teams are in all kinds of talks with like other like role player type stuff and draft picks. So
Yeah.
fun, happy, heartwarming news. Andre Iguodala gets his number retired in Golden State.
Oh,
So
okay.
hometown hero for us, a name that we both know, Andre
Yeah.
Iguodala. Love have watching him play, but yeah, it's sweet that he'll get his
Yeah,
jersey
that guy's
retired
gonna
out
be
there.
so old.
Old as hell. His son, I think, is like coming up now that he'll be playing in a few years. People have been talking about that because he was
Yeah.
one. Andre Iguodala is just every time I see him, I just think of like a fucking like a gorilla because his arms are so long. Like he
Yeah.
just fuck his arms, his reach is so fucking like Slender Man. Like it's so weird looking. Like his arms are too long for his body.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's just cool to see. I have a note here that says KD all time shit talker. Not nothing surprising there. He has been caught with his Twitter burner accounts and shit. Like he's just a
Good for
millennial.
him.
Like he's just a young kid just out here talking shit on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean he's in his late 30s now, but still he was on the court, not even shooting a free throw. Somebody else was shooting a free throw. The Wizards yelled out, a lot of pressure on these free throws. And Kevin yells right back, goes, no pressure playing y'all. Like, just shit talks them right away to the whole bench. And they all, like, get quiet. And, like, one of the players just, like, points to him and was, like, looking at the ref, was like, you're not going to do anything. The ref was like, what do you want me to do about that? Like, y'all are yelling at him. Like,
Yeah.
what do you want me to do about that? And so, yeah, it was clear. Like, Kevin said it, like, right away where he was like, there's no pressure playing you guys. Like, y'all suck. Like, it was hilarious. Um, Unfortunately, it was Celtics slump. Like yeah, we started off real hot. The Thunder and the Cavs took heed of the all the headlines and like they were the two best teams, and then the Celtics just have hit like a weird slump since like Christmas this time. But I think we're gonna get it together. Joe Mazzulla's got our back. So, but yeah, other than that, yeah, I
Oh
mean
yeah,
trade.
5-5 in the last 10.
Yeah,
What a
it's been a
slump.
weird yeah it's 1-1, which is just unlike us. Like we usually go on runs and stuff, and so yeah, it's a weird time right now. But can you chill for a second? Yeah, just relax. Yeah, just wake up from a nap and demand potty time. Um, yeah, so there's a
He's talking to the
lot.
dog, not the kids. I promise.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, go outside and go pee, child. Yeah, the dog just randomly woke up and he's whining and clawing around. I mean, I see you look at me. We'll go outside in a second. Um, but yeah, so yeah, NBA pretty much trade deadline. Like that's what's coming up right now
Yeah.
because we're a little over halfway through the season now. So like playoff implications are starting to kind of formate a little bit. Like you're starting to kind of see like what's happening and who's gonna fall where, who's needs to make a run to try to get the play in and that kind of stuff. But for the most part, trade deadline right now is the main news. So we
Right
got about a
on.
week left on that. So
That's actually kind of exciting. I always enjoy the NBA trade
it
deadline.
is. It's
There's
so fun.
some wild
It's
shit
always so fun.
happens.
Yeah, it's always so fun.
Yeah. Just to touch on it, because it's early this year, with the MLB regular season starting March 18th in Tokyo, the Cubs report in 11 days, which is wild. So February 9th, the Cubs
February
report.
baseball.
Yeah. So I don't, if I'm being honest, I don't pay much attention to it, but I know there's people that like live for when pitchers and catchers report.
Yeah, I don't
So
care.
good for them. Have fun. Enjoy.
Don't let us know. We'll catch you for the World Series.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when you get to hockey, the Flyers still suck. The Pittsburgh Penguins still suck. Both are pretty well out of playoff contention right now, with like approximately 30 games left in the season, give or take a few. So we are winding down, and honestly,
If the
it'd be-
Flyers suck, that means tickets are probably cheap, right? Probably get in for
yeah,
pretty
for
cheap.
sure. Yeah. Um, and then NCAA football, Jim Knowles. I don't know what happened in Ohio State. There's a bunch. I've read a bunch of different reports. So the defensive coordinator for Ohio State was basically told like, "Hey, you're not allowed to celebrate with the football team. Like you're not allowed to go to our on-field celebration of the national championship that you just won with your players. You're being let go. You're like I guess they told him at like 10 p.m. that his ID was no longer going to work at midnight. And
Damn.
like don't come back. And the reports say that basically Ohio State offered him like 2.2 million, and then a couple other Big Ten schools offered him like 2.8 million, and then Penn State was like, "We'll give you 3.1." And
Yeah,
he was
we'll
like,
pay for you
"Okay,
to
but
come
like,
tell us everything that Ohio
uh,
State's doing.
I'm gonna go to Penn State." And
Yeah,
so he did.
fucking A, dude. That's
Yeah, so
crazy.
he was hired as their defensive coordinator. So like Penn State gets enough returners. Unfortunately, they're losing Abdul Carter, who's probably going to be like a top 5 draft pick. Um, but you know how college football goes. There'll be somebody to replace him, and they'll be all right. But Jim Knowles is a good guy, or is a good
Yeah.
defensive coordinator, I should say. Um, now that he's played with two of our rivals, I'm not sure he's a good guy, but
Hmm.
um, yeah. So
Yeah, that's
just
crazy.
wild stories coming out of Ohio State about just like the culture there. It just seems so weird. And I saw this TikTok today that made me laugh so hard. This dude is like posing. So he's taking a video, but he's posing with Ryan Day for a selfie. And
Yes.
he's like, go blue 4-0.
Yes. And then Ryan is like
Yeah, just like puts it
tucks
down and
away.
walks over.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. He's,
yeah, it's
I
so
thought you were
funny.
a fan, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you thought wrong.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. I love anything that's just trashing Ohio State for losing to Michigan because it's great. It's a great day to be a Wolverine. Um, and fun stuff happens. Um, did you want to touch on this fight?
Yeah, so we have a UFC fight Saturday fucking morning because I'm pretty sure it's in like Abu Dhabi or some shit. It's Israel Adesanya, so it's a solid ass fight actually. It's weird that he's not on the main card. I don't know why, or on like a main fight event, but he lost his last one, I believe, so that's why. But it should still be a good fight. But yeah, it's now it says noon. I don't trust that though. I definitely don't trust that because I feel like it was different before. But um, no, yeah, February 1st, 9 a.m. Oh, it starts at 9. The main fight will be at noon. Duh. Okay. Yeah, prelims start at 9, main cards at 12. So, yeah, I mean, it'll be a good fight. But yeah, there's some other good ones on the list. But 9 a.m. is, like, I gotta wake up and jump right into watching UFC. Like, that's a tough, that's a weird morning. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. But,
As
yeah,
an
definitely
F1
excited
fan, I
for it.
can't really relate.
Yeah,
Um,
it's yeah, weird ass timing. But,
so TGL was on last night, and like very little else on some college basketball, but they were smart. They started at 6:30, so it was
mhm.
pretty much earlier than every other sport was on.
Yep. And then
I don't.
lasted a
Did you
while.
catch it?
I did. I had
I
it on the main
Yeah,
TV, and the boys were watching for a little bit. Like it is fun. Like I
yeah,
like that. Like everybody's mic'd up. Like they're talking to the
yes,
crowd. They're talking with each other. Like everyone's laughing and carrying on and having a good time.
yeah,
It's not this stick up your ass fucking old
right,
white guy golf sport. Like it's this like oh like let's go hang out with the bros and hit some golf balls. Like
yeah.
it
It's like
is so
this
much
new age
younger.
golf.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, like
Yeah. It's
throw it in a stadium. It's cool as shit to me. I would
yes.
love to
I
go
love it.
watch it.
Yes, I'm all for it.
Um,
I hope that they have a one in every my 32 major cities. I'll add TGL in there. That should be the fifth major sport. Like that would be
yeah,
so fun. Like yeah, that is yeah. TGL is hopefully here
yeah,
to
it's
stay and improve. And that's the
yeah,
other thing too is that like it literally just started and I was like, damn, this is pretty sweet. Like they did this really well. Like wow,
yeah.
this is really smart. And then
And
it's only gonna get better.
I know you'll appreciate this, but last night I was at darts. I throw darts on Monday nights, and so I'm throwing darts, and it's on all the TVs in the bar, and so we're watching, and I was like, "How many GPUs do you think they use for that screen?"
Like a
Like,
fucking ton.
like,
Like to
so
build.
my
Like imagine being
understanding
the
is it's
guy.
like 12 separate projectors for that screen.
Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
imagine being the guy in charge of purchasing for that. Like you got like an
yeah,
open blank check and they were like, buy some computers that can manage this, and you're like, oh my fucking god. Like
yeah,
that dude just went and bought 10 of the best of everything and built fucking supercomputers to
right,
handle
yeah.
this. Like
I'm thinking he probably has like a bunch of like 4090s, or I guess I
handfuls.
don't know what.
Handfuls.
Yeah, and like you
Like
have to have
yeah, handfuls.
backups.
Yes, like handfuls of them.
Yeah, so
And yeah,
super
like
interesting.
his workstation is probably the greatest computer ever fucking assembled, and they're like, just make sure everything runs. And he's
Yeah,
like, you got it, boss.
yeah.
Keep signing those checks.
But I really enjoyed watching it, which I think is probably the first time in my life I can ever say I really enjoyed watching golf.
Facts. I watch golf to watch it because I want to learn and get
Right.
better, and like it's something I want to get better in and dive
Yeah.
into. But I'm never like, oh shit, boys, the golf mat, like it's on, like let's
Right.
watch.
Yeah.
Like I haven't reached that point yet, but like this was one where I was like, yeah,
I
this will be fun. Like the
yeah.
Super Bowl of TGL will be a ton of fucking fun. Like that will
Right.
be so much fun. So
Yeah.
like
Like
I'm all for it.
I can see myself like legitimately trying to tune into TGL matches now.
Yes,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah,
saw
like
this
paying
first
attention
one.
to be like, okay, when's the next one? And then
Yeah.
like, yeah, putting it actually that's a good point. I'm gonna jot that down because I don't think I put TGL on my calendar because it wasn't on ESPN yet. I put in all
Yeah.
live and all PGA stuff, so I didn't even touch TGL. So I'll have to check that schedule out and add it to my calendar. That way I have
Yeah.
an
I'm
idea of
just
when they're
like
coming.
I'm like okay, I could. I could see this taking off,
Yeah, TGL is
especially
pretty sweet.
especially if they can get it to move venues and like
Yes,
actually
yeah,
move the
travel.
venue
Yeah, yeah, like
around the
doing
country and
traveling
give
teams and
people a
stuff.
chance to go
Yes, yeah,
watch
yeah,
and
yeah.
enjoy
If
it.
it's always just in
Like,
SoFi Center, like it's yeah, it doesn't help. But yeah, if they
right.
can get around and
I
then do some
I
other
definitely get
stadiums,
it for the first
yeah,
year
yeah,
because
yeah, trial
this
it out and
technology
see
is
how
all
it
new. Like
works.
that green is wild.
That's insane. Like, yeah,
Like,
it is all like
yeah,
rotating and everything. Like, yeah, it's just that it's yeah,
yeah,
it's pretty much it's like the same. Like the Clippers built the Intuit Dome, so like Steve Ballmer built the Clippers their new stadium. I don't know if you've
yeah.
read into that at all, but like they're like every seat has like a charging port. It has
Yeah.
like you can order stuff and food and stuff. It has um like everything is free merch. There's the thing called the wall, which is like the behind the free throw. You're only allowed to buy tickets if you're a Clipper fan. You get kicked out of the section if you're not. Like if you think you're
Oh
gonna go and
wow.
troll, you get removed from the section. Like you have to be cheering Clippers. Like it's insane. And so like everyone is working together to get people to miss free throws. Like yes, like that's insane. The Sphere, the thing that we talked about obviously before in
Yeah.
Vegas, like that's another one where it's like it's a very specific thing, but like I would love to go to the Sphere, but like can't afford to fly to fucking Vegas, let alone go to there and then watch an event there. So like, yeah, I want to see a couple of Spheres on the East Coast, and I want to see some TGL arenas over here for sure. Like
Yeah.
some shit that we get to experience.
Um. So interesting. Where do you think the SoFi Arena is? SoFi Center. My apologies.
If I had to guess, it's like in the parking lot of SoFi's arena,
So I would have thought that too. It's in
Miami.
Palm Beach Gardens, Florida.
I see. I did know
Yeah.
that. I remember them saying it was in Florida. As soon as I said the outside the parking lot, I was like, that's not right. That's obviously a trick question. But yeah, that's why I said Miami because I was thinking Florida.
Yeah. Like that's crazy.
Interesting. So yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, obviously too, because Tiger fucking lives in Florida. So like,
Right.
why
Yeah.
would he want to be at? He's like, hey, I created this league. I'm gonna go in my backyard and play. So like, yeah, he's not traveling far. So
Yeah. I don't know. It's just cool as shit.
honestly, for
I'm
whatever
happy.
reason, I don't care how far the distance of the West Coast is. Like going south 1,000 miles versus going west 1,000 miles just always feels better. Like
A
going to
hundred percent.
Florida is just like such a simple 2 hour flight, but like 2 hours west is like oh my god, I'm not even in California yet. Like
Yeah.
I just feel like yeah, there's just like this lull. But like anytime it's
And that
south, it's in
jet
Florida.
lag.
I'm like
I
yeah.
think
When you say
it's. I
Florida,
think
I'm
it's
like
the
I can do
time
that today.
zones.
Yeah.
Staying in the same time zone is like
Yeah,
I
it's
can
just
handle
you're
that.
just running down and back. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like it's like a long drive almost. But like yeah,
Right.
going west, it's like yeah, you're fucking everything up. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, golf. Yeah, so that's yeah. We were joking around at the beginning of the episode about football being over and everything stopping, but I mean yeah, golf is looking pretty good for the summer between TGL and PGA Tour is looking good, and we have a lot of racing going on, lots of
Yeah.
fights and all kinds of other stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, the looks like TGL has pretty much a match every week going into March, so that'll be fun.
nice.
And
All right,
at that
cool.
point, you'll be well into the
March Madness
March
and NBA
Madness, and
season, and
yeah, so
yeah, building into NBA
could be
playoffs.
cool. Just to touch on some local things, Hershey Bears are still leading the Eastern Conference, although they're no longer the top in the league. They're behind some team from the Western Conference, but that doesn't matter until you get to the Calder Cup Championship.
Thanks.
Um, and the Harrisburg Heat are still trash. They're now 2-7. So season's going on. They don't play again at home until like February. They have a couple games at the end of the month here, at the beginning of next month rather. Um, so yeah, that wraps up everything local and everything I have. You have anything else before we hit a fun fact?
Nope, I think we're all done. Not yet. This was a pretty slim one. I will say though too for the Hershey Bears, the last 2 years we had back-to-back Calder Cup champions against the Coachella Valley Firebirds, and they are 13th in the league now, and we're second to the Calgary Wranglers. So
Oh, I before I give today's fun fact, I do have to make an edit. I sent you this video earlier today about not um, not being able to jump for longer than 1 second.
mm-hmm.
So my fun fact was that none of the high jumpers have ever jumped for more than 1 second. That is most likely true, but the longest jump on Earth in terms of hang time is like 1.00078 seconds.
Didn't that video you show earlier just show that guy in air for like 3 seconds?
You clearly didn't watch the video.
I did not with audio, but I watched. I thought
Yeah.
I watched it,
So,
but I.
so if you watch it, basically it's a TikTok for all of our listeners and viewers. I'll have to share this video to Cup of Sports, but the guy breaks down the math of this. It's a TikTok of this guy being like, "Oh, everybody says you can't jump for more than 1 second, but like here I am jumping 7 seconds," and it's like,
Oh, the guy
no,
does the
you just
math. That's
yeah,
right.
and he
Yeah,
does
yeah,
the
yeah.
math and breaks everything down and basically is like, no, like the highest recorded high jump is like 54 inches or something like that. And that even that hang time was only 1.070078 of a second. Like it's barely over a second.
I'm gonna get a second. I'm gonna
So,
do it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna do it.
right, good luck with that.
Yeah.
So
Real
I
quick
just
before
didn't
your
want to
fun
cut it open.
fact. No, no, good call. Because it makes me want to do it even more now. I want to get that 1.00001. Real quick, two things. Just got a notification. Broncos all in, all covered initiative. The Broncos are going to supply football helmets to every Colorado high school. We're paying for all new helmets for
Okay.
every high school in Colorado.
I guess when you have Walmart money, you can do that.
I was gonna say, like, what the fuck kind of bread do we got that we're just doing that instead of signing, I don't know, like a
Walmart.
wide receiver? But yes, the Waltons are just like
That
fucking
doesn't
watch
fall
this
under the
shit.
salary cap, so you guys can
Yeah,
spend
they
as
can
much
do
money
whatever
as
they
you want
want.
to.
Yeah, they said we're gonna get some Colorado homebred players we're gonna be the drafting type team now, I guess. Maybe they're working on Dion. Dion and Sean Payton got some shit going on. Other thing I wanted to touch on too was that it was during the coaching carousel. I didn't really put it down because you had mentioned that like you guys having coordinators and stuff leaving. That has been a big news too. The Lions lost offensive coordinator,
Both, yeah,
defensive coordinator, and then also like wide receiver coach or some shit like that had left.
yeah,
And then the Broncos lost our passing game coordinator, and then we've lost our assistant general manager, and then another the fuck was his? We lost another one. So like we
yeah,
both were the two teams where it was like the Lions and the Broncos, and like they had this bright future, and then everyone just fucking up and left. And so now
yeah.
I'm just like, dude, like I was really hoping for a progressive year, and now I feel like we might be looking at a regression. And also to Pete Carroll in Las Vegas sucks. Like I'm miserable. I hate it all. So
I hate it here.
yeah, I hate it here. So yeah, so we will see. But yeah, all right. Give me my
Yeah,
fun fact.
if you want any sympathy from me, you're not going to get it because we lost in the Super Bowl and lost both of our coordinators as well. So
Yeah, we suck. So it's
you
fine.
there is a way back. It just takes a couple years apparently.
Sure fucking does.
All right. Uh, in the spirit of business, the first recorded business meeting comes from the Romans around 47 AD. So I blame them for having to go to meetings and not being able to make it an email.
Everything is the Roman Empire's fault.
Yeah, pretty much.
What was that first meeting about?
God only knows.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's even a pun or relevant or coincidence. I could not even tell you the relation of God and Rome, but here we are. I knew there was something there. I knew it would have got a giggle.
Fair enough. But yeah, that wraps us up.
According to
Happy.
historical records, the first business meetings in ancient Rome would have likely taken place in the Roman Forum, an open-air public space where people gathered for commerce, political discussions, and legal matters. Essentially served as a central hub of Roman life where business deals were negotiated and conducted. Which is crazy because that's like gathered for commerce, so that was their bank. Political discussions, that was their like
Government.
lounge government,
Yeah.
and legal matters, so it was their courthouse.
Yeah.
It was just one building where they were like, bring your money, bring your problems, bring your shit, let's fucking handle it like men. You might fight a tiger in a cage, and then everyone goes home happy. Like that's kind of crazy. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty
the
intense.
Romans did shit differently.
Yeah, they did. We should bring that back. How often do you think about the Roman Empire? We think about it every day. I remember thinking that, like, I know it's a joke, and it's like that one of those like internet jokes where it's like, let's see how long we can keep this going. But like
Yeah.
in my head, I was like, I never think about the Roman Empire. That's dumb as fuck. Like, who actually even thinks about it? And then since then, I'm always just like, I wonder. Like, it's the dumbest shit ever. I'm like, that changed my life for no reason at all.
Jamie, yeah,
That's
Jamie
so
didn't
dumb.
believe me because I do. So I took 4 years of Latin in high school. So like,
See, I do
think about
occasionally
it
think of it, but
fairly often.
I didn't realize how much I did though. But then I was like, am I thinking about this more now because I read that fucking meme, or do I actually think about the Roman Empire this fucking much?
Self-fulfilling
So
prophecy.
yeah, it's wild. But
All right. Well, we appreciate
the
you all.
Romans.
Like and subscribe. Have a great Wednesday. We're discussing some ideas for Thursday. We'll see what happens.
Fun stuff on the horizon.
Yeah. Fill some time. And hope you guys have a great day.
GG's, like and
Appreciate y'all.
subscribe. Thanks, Derek.